Informed consciousness. Consciousness is not as simple as it seems, because to think also means to outthink. Political liars, for example, tend to outthink voters. Political analysts, worth their salt, not only outthink voters, but also outthink the outthinking of voters. The writers of space operas that span countless generations of characters take this to a fantastic maximum. To think is to be able to outthink, and there is no limit to how far you can go. Scientists invented a rule where, in terms of realism, if you can't prove it, it does not exist. Conspiracy theorists, in their tendency to ignore rules, are a good example of how one can leap out of reality. Beings that are conscious and aware of their surroundings, who are capable of choosing what to do next, create a universal family. Some wonderful scientists suspect that this family is pretty big. But we have to pay attention to choice, because that too is a bit tricky and complicated. There's this small problem where we tend to believe what people in authority tell us, what they want us to believe. If our view of the world is not set in reality, then our freedom of will stand on uneven ground. Giordano Bruno comes to mind, to heart, to soul. Sometimes great beings choose to send a message way into the future, and in the worst of ways. Without truth and clarity of vision, the choices we make are not really our own and can become regrets. There is no one to blame for humanity's greatest mistakes, other than our great weakness, always being short for greater wisdom. But when we do take to wisdom, the clarity of our vision and freedom of our will greatly improves. As great of a superpower that consciousness is, I think we have to consider consciousness without wisdom, consciousness without clarity of vision, and consciousness without the stability of truth as a problem that we should each quickly solve by becoming wiser, by reading more books, by reading all the books. Unfortunately, lack of wisdom combines to create a planet-wide problem, especially now that we face climate change, Holocene extinction, and the presence of some 16,000 nuclear weapons spread across 9 nations, who do not aim to converge on wisdom and will diverge on political and religious issues as time goes on. And I know that some of you think little of humanity for what it has done to you and the promises that it has broken. But I also know that you are like this because your hearts are greater. Though you may not yet care about humanity, I know that in the greatness of your heart you care about and love animals. Rise to greatness. Take to informed consciousness and make the extinction of tigers count for more than a whimper. Become a great being